Fabulous. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is Incorporating Music into Trainings. For those of you who may or may not know me, I am the newest training coach on the block so far. I am the Salt River training coach. Let's see, my background, in addition to lots of technology and experience with kids, I actually have a lot of musical background. I have a bachelor's in music. I sing. I do get paid by my church to sing. I've created an early childhood music curriculum. I have one published children's album. So that's kind of a little bit about my musical background. And we're going to jump right in right away with an interactive activity here. Let's see. All right. So one of the ways that you can incorporate music into trainings is that music can help you set the mood for a training. So we're going to listen to 4 songs and I'm going to play them for you. That annotate tool we talked about, so it would be at the top of your screen next to where it says Julie Holitzka is screen sharing. There's a menu right there, or if you're on a cell phone, I think there's a little pen icon. So you can find the annotate tool there. I'm going to play this song and then annotate on the screen, type with text if you would. How does this song make you feel? Here's our first song. I see silly and happy, peppy, 2 peppies, another peppy, happy, upbeat, have anything else? Let's see. Your head is bopping up and down. So is mine, actually.
But I can't type and bop at the same time. I have to stop.
Yeah. Lively. All right. Any more answers we want to add? All right. I want to refresh this. All right. So what instruments did you hear in that song? You can unmute. Oh, dancing. I like that. You can unmute or you can type it in the chat. What instruments did you hear? Anybody have any ideas? Keyboard or organ? Yes.
Yeah,
definitely
it seemed like synthesized a keyboard.
Yep.
And just a mixture of synthesized sounds into the music.
Yep. Now, was it fast or slow?
It was not fast, but just a moderate, lively beat. Yeah, to walking beat, rock. There's a very lively beat.
So yeah, moderate, peppy, upbeat, happy. There was some of that. I think it was probably like bells or mallets on top. So, all right. So that was happy. So happy music is, moderate sound. You had a good beat, kind of kept a steady beat. All right. Now we're going to go on to a completely different song. This was Vivacity by Kevin MacLeod. There will be a list of resources later in the training where you can find free music. Incompetech is one of my favorite websites for free music. You just have to put a link of where you got it from. All of the songs on that website are free. Here is our next song, and let me clear out your annotations. Clear all. All right. Same thing. I need to close this. All right. Let's play our next song. How does the song make you feel? Go ahead and annotate. Solemn, powerful, dramatic, Darth Vaderish. I like that. Waiting for something to happen, competitive. It is Pop Goes the Weasel. Yes, you are correct. Solemn. Pop. This version is important. Yeah, I like this version a lot. Actually, it's pretty fun. All right, so that was a short song. What instruments did you hear? Again, you can unmute or type it in the chat. Oh, sorry, let me refresh. So to stop it. All right, so what instruments did you hear? Drums, yes. What other instruments did you hear? Were there some strings in there? Synthesizer, yes.
I think I heard some strings. I was about to type that too.
Violins, yes. Was the music fast or slow? Or medium? Medium. Yep. It was definitely medium. Were the pitch of the notes super high or were they low?
Low.
It was low. That's right. That low range kind of gives it that kind of power or Darth Vader-ish kind of a sound. It almost sounded like it could be like a ship song, like on a ship. I could picture them like a ship on the waves. All right. This one, again, this was Pop Goes the Weasel, again from Incompetech. Next song, let me clear out our annotations here. Clear. Close. All right. Oh, that did not clear. Let me try that again. Clear. Clear all. Okay. Here we go. Again, how does this one make you feel? Go ahead and annotate. Dreamy, I see peaceful, calm, calm. Sleepy. Yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sleepy. Relaxed. Thoughtful. Yes. Serene. Yes, it's so pretty. Mellow. Lots of good thoughts. Anything else? Meditative. All right, now what instruments did you hear there? Or what instrument? Because I only heard one. Piano. Right, and was that fast or slow? Slow. So that slow piano gave you that kind of sleepy, dreamy, relaxed. All right, we're gonna do one more of these to show us how music can convey different emotions. And again, this was a Kevin MacLeod, Heartbreaking. Let me clear out our annotations. Clear. Clear, okay. All right, last one of these for now. How does this make you feel? Victorious, superhero-like, yep, super powerful, excited, inspired, excited, anticipation. Ready to move, ready to go. Anything else? Awaiting important news update. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Okay, so what kind of instruments did you hear there? Drums and horns. Oh, I like jubilant. Drums and horns, like you're soaring. Cymbals. Yes. drums and horns, strings and percussion. Yeah, it sounded like a full orchestra, I think. Was that fast or slow? Or medium? Fast. Right, that had that fast tempo, and I agree, it did sound like a superhero song, and I think, in fact... Oh, I hit the link without meaning to. Hold on a sec. There we go. Let's see. Take a Chance. That one is called Take a Chance. All right, so do you see how different instruments and different speeds help convey different emotions? I hope that activity was helpful as you listened to music. We're going to continue on. Oh, let me clear off my annotations again as we move on. Clear. And close. All right. So you can also use music for breaks and timers. And I have a couple examples. We're not going to go through a whole timer, but this one is one that I've used actually as a break timer. But YouTube has timers already made with music on them. And you can just embed them in a slide. So like, for example, this one, and it counts down. So all you have to do when you have a break is put this up. It's not only a visual reminder of when your break's over, but it's something someone can hear if, say, they walk into the other room to grab a drink. They can hear when the music stops at the end and know you're starting back up. And then everybody's got a central frame of reference for what time they're coming back, rather it being on one person's phone or one person's computer time, which may be different than someone else. The other thing is, when you're embedding a YouTube video, you don't have to start it at the beginning. So say you find a 5-minute countdown video you like, you can start it at the 3-minute mark of the video. So that is possible as well. Another way you can use it, aside from breaks, is you can use it for a timer. Say you're doing a group game and you want a group to confer, but you don't want the game to go on forever. You can limit the time the group has by, say, playing a song, probably one of the most popular for games when you're giving somebody think time. This is the Jeopardy theme song, and this is just a YouTube version of it. But if you're having the team have to confer and then come back to you, this one's only like a 50-second clip or 40-second clip, excuse me. So that can set the time to help keep the training moving. And again, everybody can hear that as they're discussing to know when the time is over. So that's another easy way to incorporate music into your trainings. All right, continuing on. Oh. All right, music, you can use music as a teaching tool. So in addition to setting the mood and in addition to using it for breaks and timers, music can actually be used to help teach content. You can use music to enhance storytelling, for fun factor, or for revisit and review activities. So we're going to start with how we would use music to enhance storytelling. Are all YouTube videos okay to use without permission? Most are. YouTube actually does pay copyright owners for, at least for the music that is on the videos when they upload them. If you haven't purchased it, they will, however, add ads to your video in order to pay the copyright owners basically a royalty for that. But generally speaking, that's okay. It still would not hurt to ask permission. It still would be good to ask permission, but they are paying the artist or the copyright owner for the YouTube usage through the ads that they may display on your video. Good question. All right. So have you guys ever seen a scary movie with the sound off? All right, we're going to watch about a brief 1-minute clip of scary movie, a clip without sound, and then we're going to watch it with sound, and I want you to see the difference. So here's just a PBS little short clip, and I'm only going to show you about a minute of this, so we're going to watch this without the sound. So intentionally, you're not hearing anything right now, just watch it. I want you to think about how scary or not you think this is watching it without the sound. Captions are on so you can tell what's going on, but so he's talking at the door. Okay. Does it look particularly scary to you? No, I see some No, I see an unmute. No, not particularly scary, right? Okay, now let's try this. Same clip, same starting point with sound.
Little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Well, I'll huff, I'll puff, I'll blow your house in.
All right, so anybody else think that was scarier with music? Yes, so music can change your image, what you think of your image, just that use of music. Oh, we don't need to watch this again. All right. Music can also convey what someone is thinking or feeling. It can enhance your storytelling by conveying what someone is thinking or feeling. So here I just have basically a nondescript picture of a person. There's not even an expression on their face. It's just a person sitting in the background. I'm going to play 2 different sound clips, and I want you to tell me, you can, in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, tell me what you think the person is thinking based on the sound I play with the picture. What kind of mood are they in? And there could be multiple right answers. You're not trying to guess one specific thing, but what kind of feeling does it give you?
Playful.
Playful. Okay. Lighthearted. Contemplating.
Mm-hmm. Thinking.
Thinking. Yep. Good. All right. Yep. Thinking. It could be mysterious, even maybe. The strings, when they're plucked like that, that's called pizzicato strings. It's that little short string sound. And that one is another Incompetech called Sneaky Snitch. That was the name of that song. All right, now same picture again, but here is a different song. Tell me what this one makes you think is going on in this person's mind. Run! I like that, April. What else? Danger. Any other thoughts? Building to a climax, yes. Mystery, excitement, fast movement, mystery. Yes, that's all great. This one is called Volatile Reaction, is the name of the song. But yes, those low tones. So even just pairing music with a picture can convey emotion. Which can be great if you're telling stories in your training. I'm going to show you one more example. Music can set the scene. So rather than even showing a person here, I've just got an empty room, right? This looks like an empty preschool classroom. Now I'm going to play some music, and I will maybe pretend to even start to tell a story and show how they could match. And how that can enhance your storytelling. So here's the first audio. Anybody know what this song is? You can type it in the chat or unmute.
Flight of the Bumblebees.
Flight of the Bumblebees, that is correct. All right, so if you heard that music, it looks like a calm classroom, but you would kind of expect chaos to erupt after hearing that music, right? Because that was very fast and very frantic. You know, it's like if you were telling a story about one of those days when everything went wrong and when the kids got a hold of the crayons and drew all over the walls and your assistant gave them all paint and they were painting all at the same time and everybody had BMs and it was just a rough day, you could start with music like that when you're telling your story. Now, if you saw this picture, however, and heard this, takes a minute to come in. There we go. It's a beautiful day in the classroom. The children have listened so well today. Nap time, right? You got everybody down to nap on time. The paperwork's all done. You have time to talk to your assistant and send your parents all of the email updates that happened today. And you're just in a great mood and it's relaxing and peaceful. Right? Okay. So you see how you could use that to start out a story just to set the mood before you even say a word. You can give people kind of an emotion and an expectation for the story and even share some words. And then the X guy shows up saying little pigs. Okay. All right. So yes, music can help you convey emotion and set the scene. Another way you can use sound, not necessarily music, is to add fun factor for games. For example, if you're playing a game, you can use sound effects like the crowd going wild. You could have a buzzer sound when people get an answer right or a wrong answer. And that just helps keep people awake. It's just a little bit of extra fun factor. Okay, this is a video just that can show you how adding fun factor can make people make different choices. So this is less than 2 minutes long. We're gonna watch this. Yeah, so did you see that statistic? 66% more people chose to take the stairs than the escalator because they made the stairs fun by turning them into piano stairs. So that fun factor can really be a motivator that can help to change behavior. Let's continue on. All right, music for revisit and review activities. Music can help the brain remember things. We've focused mostly on instrumental music so far, but you can use music with lyrics and it is great for those revisit and review activities. Just you can call out or you can type in the chat. How many of you like to memorize? Or you can say yes or no, you like to memorize or you don't. I'll be honest, I've always hated memorizing. Like hand me a list and say memorize, that's no fun. Nope, 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 don't like it, no, okay. Now, how many of you have ever gotten a song stuck in your head even when you didn't try to get it stuck in your head? Earworm, yes. Anyone else ever gotten a song just stuck in your head that you weren't even trying? Yes, all the time, yes. Yes, yes. So how can you harness that as a trainer? We want to get things stuck in people's heads, right? There's information that we want them to remember. So how can we harness that? Let's see. I'm going to give you some examples of how you can use songs. These are things that I have used when I was teaching, and then I have one grown-up example for us too. But when you are, say, doing steps in a process, that's a good way to use I'm watching the chat go by, that's why I'm laughing. When you need to remember steps in a process, you can write a song. When I was teaching my 2-year-old, I was a 2-year-old teacher for a while, I had a hand washing song that taught them all the proper steps in hand washing. You can use a common tune when you use these. You don't have to come up with a melody off the top of your head. So for hand washing, I had a song to the theme of mulberry bush. So this is the way we wash our hands, wash our hands, wash our hands. This is the way we wash our hands so we get them clean. Put them under the water now, the water now, the water now. Put them under the water now so we get them clean. Reach your hand and get some soap, get some soap, get some soap. Reach your hand and get some soap till we get them clean. Rub them together, top and bottom, top and bottom, top and bottom. Rub them together, top and bottom, till we get them clean. Put them under and rinse them off, rinse them off, rinse them off. Put them under and rinse them off till we get them clean. Take the towel and pat them dry, pat them dry, pat them dry. Take the towel and pat them dry till we get them clean. So those steps in a process, and again, the second half of every verse was the same. It was till we get them clean. So easily, and that can help not only kids, but adults remember steps in a process, because as grown-ups, we were supposed to follow that hand washing protocol ourselves. You can make up a melody, rules. When you're trying to help somebody remember a rule, you can also use songs for that. For example, I had one with my 2-year-olds that was, when I hit and push my friends, I make them sad. When I hit and push my friends, it makes them sad. When I hit and push my friends, it makes them sad. I will use my gentle hands. I will give them hugs instead. When I hit and push my friends, it makes them sad. So something like that. Again, I made up that melody, and I made this melody sad to get across sad. And the kids didn't sing the whole thing, but they would actually all sing sad with me whenever I got to sad. The other thing you can do is when you're trying to, say, remember an acronym like PACES. Who can tell me what PACES is? You can type it in the chat. What's PACES stand for? Trainers? This is a grown-up acronym for planning trainings. Anyone? Oh, well, preview, activate, content, exercise, summary, right. So I came up with, as I was planning this training, to the tune of bingo, it's time to make a training plan, and this is how we do it. P-A-C-E-S, 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 and that's how we spell PACES. So easy enough, but that can help you remember an acronym. So it is now time. We're going to do some breakout groups. And I want you in your group to write a song. You don't have to sing it to me when you come back. Nobody has to sing if you don't want to. You could type the words in chat. A couple tips when you do this. First tip, you can use a common melody. So you could pick Twinkle Twinkle, you could pick Itsy Bitsy Spider, you could pick whatever common melody that you want and use that. So you don't have to come up with melody off the top of your head. If you want the song to be memorable, there's 2 things you can do with the words to help with that. Number 1 is rhyme. So like Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout, down came the rain and washed the spider out. So those 2 rhyme. So rhyming helps with memory. And the other thing is sing it how you say it. So Itsy Bitsy Spider, Itsy Bitsy Spider, the rhythms match. The rhythm matches how you say it, how you would sing it in the song. So I'm going to put you just in random breakout groups. Let's see, we have 19 people, so I'm going to make 4 groups. And you're going to have 10 minutes. Let's see. I think I have to stop sharing to make my groups. Stop sharing for now. All right, breakout rooms. We're going to create 4. You're going to have 10 minutes. And again, you don't have to sing it when you come back. If you don't want to, you can just type it in the chat and just welcome back. I am looking forward to hearing your creations. I hope you had fun with this one. Let's see, we're still waiting on group 4 to come back.
They're probably still singing.
They could be.
And I'm pretty sure that since I was the one recording, that we, Hans, are the group on the recording. So if you want some entertainment, you might go back and watch this later on. Okay?
Oh, okay. When I edit it to post it in Trainers Connections, I'll have to pay special attention to that.
Yes.
You can have the trainers cut on a separate page. People can pay for access to that.
There you go.
Breakout room 2 is taking our songs on the road. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, if you're taking it on the road, do you want to start us out with sharing?
You know we're ready. I have been elected the singer, which may not surprise any of you. All right, so this will be a familiar tune that you will recognize with some clever lyrics. Trainer connections, learn something new, apply it to a training, tips and tools.
Woo, woo.
All right.
Good job. Awesome group 2. I love it.
Okay. So I just want to add that since we're on this Zoom, we couldn't all sing together because the way the mics cut you out.
Yeah.
But in our room, we actually practice it as like doing a round. So like Hans would start off and do trainer connections, and then I would come in and start it over, and then we'd kind of rotate. So that's really how we would perform it if we were live and you could hear
Okay. Awesome. I love the performance notes. Very
so
awesome.
Level 5.
Yes.
We had some ideas. It could be your transfer of learning activity.
Yes.
Have teams compete and vote for the winning song. Prizes.
That would be awesome. That's a great idea.
Grammys.
Awesome.
Awesome. All right. That was group 2. So we have 1, 3, and 4. Who'd like to share next?
Well, we'll go ahead.
Okay.
One, and we used one that we would use with kids.
Okay, that's great.
So we did one to get kids to transition from their classroom to the music room.
Okay.
This is the way we walk down the hall, walk down the hall, walk down the hall. This is the way we walk down the hall to get to the music room. When we get to the music room, music room, music room. When we get to the music room, we stop outside the door. This is the way we line up on the wall, line up on the wall, line up on the wall. This is the way we line up on the wall until we are invited in.
Good job.
Very cool.
Of applause.
Oh man, Monica, I got to tell you, hearing you sing put me right back in a hallway, making up a song with kids and singing slowly to buy yourself time to make up that next line before you sing it, you know? That was awesome.
Yeah, you know, I said that's what you would be walking down the hall and just make it up as you went.
Yes, music for transitions is a great use of music. I love that. And then you did good with showing the steps in a process. You use that for steps in a process. I love that too. And you used an existing melody, Mulberry Bush. I like it. All good things. All right, we still have group 3 and group 4. Group 3 and group 4. Who'd like to go?
I don't know which group we were, but we can go.
Okay, you guys were group 3.
Okay, well then that would work. We couldn't remember what the tune was, and we may have already used it. I don't know. So, although I wasn't going to sing, I said fine, I would sing.
Okay.
This is not kid friendly, and it's not really kind of even friendly, but it was just what we could come up with.
Okay.
Get your training July to June, July to June, July to June. Get your training July to June. Just get it done.
Yes.
The last part was not nice. It works.
No, well, just get it done. That's not terrible. All right, good. And that's helping remember a rule or a guideline. So that's a good use of that. And group 4.
Yes, we're group 4. Hi, this is Vicky. Can you see me?
Hi. Yes, I can see you.
We're the best group, of course. No.
Of course.
Elizabeth made up this first half of this tune for her children at home, and it's a song for kids.
Okay.
Brush, brush, brush your teeth every night and day. We brush our teeth twice a day to make our smile so bright. Rinse, rinse, rinse your mouth, rinse it twice a day. When you rinse your mouth out, you rinse the germs away. That's it.
Nice. Good.
Awesome. And again, that's helping kids remember something they have to do. I like it. Awesome. So music is great for transfer of learning and revisit review, steps in a process and rules. We're going to hit one more quick topic. I'm going to share my screen again as we wrap it up. Let's see, share. All right. We're going to hit briefly where to find music and using music legally. Can you guys see my screen? Just checking. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So here's what you need to know. All right. There's 3 ways you can use music legally. Number 1 is license it. If you are charging for trainings, then you should, if you're using any commercial music, then you should be licensing the music. I would ask, as someone who's married to a creative and gets to eat because people pay him for his work, that you don't strip songs off of YouTube or other things like that. There are 3 licensing agencies for music, ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. The 2 most popular are ASCAP and BMI. SESAC tends to be mostly folk music. Not everything is in every catalog, and the licenses are kind of pricey. They can be upwards of $100 a year. So most of the time I don't use commercial music unless you're using something that, like I said, is embedded in a YouTube video, because YouTube does pay for rights, or they have through the ads that they use on a video. But the other 2 ways you can use music without paying for a yearly license are to use public domain music. And I have in the Trainer's Toolbox on Trainer's Connection, I'm showing you the list, and this is what it looks like, of lots of different sources for both sounds and sound effects. Incompetech is where a lot of my songs came from that I use today. Free sound effects. BBC, British Broadcasting System, has a huge library, and there's a lot of free things there. But there are lots of free places to get music that you can use. Also, you can make your own. At this point in time, there are lots of places where you can download free clips, and you can basically drag them onto something and put them together and turn them into a song. It's outside the scope of what we have time to do today, but if you're interested in that, you can get a hold of me, and I can, depending upon what you have access to, I can tell you kind of how you could get a DAW, a digital audio workstation, or an app for your phone or computer, depending upon what you're using. And you basically can drag and drop clips in and make something. Obviously, the easier thing is public domain music, but just in case any of you are feeling creative or can't find what you want, you can make your own music. So that's what I had for content, but I'm sure there are questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. And what questions do you have about using music in trainings?
Hans, you're no longer the training coach. Quit coming up with training coach task. Just kidding.
I'm always going to be a troublemaker no matter what title they give me.
Any questions about music and training?
So aren't you okay to use any music if you use like under 20 seconds of it or something like that, Julie?
If it's a short enough clip, there's not a hard and fast rule legally. Generally, they're not going to come after you for a short clip. At the same time, there's nothing in law that actually says a short clip is okay. Basically, it's more, the more of a clip you use, the more danger you are of it taking away from basically the performer getting paid for it and them being stripping it off or using it for something else. And that's when it becomes an issue, because like for a song that say is just on the internet somewhere, it's like a penny or two every time somebody plays it. And so if you don't buy it, you really are taking money out of the pocket of whoever that songwriter is or that publisher is. So I know it's easy to rip things off of YouTube, but you shouldn't do it.
And if you buy a CD, does anybody even do that anymore? Or use something off your paid Spotify list? Does that clear you of wrongdoing?
There's a different license for music than there is for broadcasting music. So when you buy a song, you buy it for personal use. There's a separate broadcast license if you're using it in a live stream or if you're using it in a room for a public performance. I haven't hit on it much today, but one of the questions I had in the pre-survey that I did was recommendations on music for kids. Amazon Prime has a lot of free music if you happen to have an Amazon account. You may not have realized, you don't have to have their music subscription. There's a lot of free music out there. So there's a whole children's category there. If you're looking for world music, Putumayo Kids has all sorts of different groups that provide different world music for kids. I don't know if anybody else has questions about that, but that was one of my survey questions. So I wanted to hit that real quick. Any other questions? Well, if you do have questions, hang around. If not, I'm going to hang around for a little bit. I will post my notes and links and a video of this in our Trainer Connections by this time next week. I'm hoping by Friday, but we'll see by this time next week. And I think our next Trainer Connections is on July 20th. So watch for information about that. Thanks for coming today, everybody.
Thank you. Julie, could you spell the Putumayo?
Yes, I'm going to pull it up so I make sure I don't spell it wrong. It's Putumayo.
Thank you. And thank you for putting that in the chat. Thank you very much. This was a great.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
This is an area that I really don't think about adding, and definitely will research this more.
Fabulous. And let me know if you have other questions. I'm happy to help.
Thank you.
Click on leave to say goodbye.